Hey friends, welcome back. In today's video, I will create a 3D model completely from scratch using the app Shapr3D on my iPad. So I will show you the most important tools, how you can get started and create any 3D building with it. I've already made a video about Shapr3D, it was last year I think, and it really changed since then, so I have updated the cheat sheet. This is free and you can download it in the link in the description below. Before we get started, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Paperlike. Paperlike is a matte screen protector that makes your iPad feel much closer to writing or sketching on a real paper. If you use an iPad with an Apple Pencil for drawing, note-taking, or editing, you've probably noticed how slippery the glass can be. That's where Paperlike comes in. It gives you better control when writing or drawing, reduces glare without sacrificing screen quality, and eliminates those annoying tapping sounds on the glass. It has just the right amount of texture for precision while keeping the display sharp and clear. You can comfortably write, draw, and still watch videos without the blurry or rainbow effects you get from some matte protectors. It also helps cut down on glare and fingerprints, which is especially helpful if you work under bright lights or film your screen. If you use your iPad for design, sketching, or note-taking, it's one of those upgrades that truly changes how the device feels. So you can check out Paperlike using the link in the description below. Let's jump back into Shapr3D. Before we start modeling, I want to quickly walk you through the interface so you have a basic understanding of how the app works. There's a lot you can do with Shapr3D. Most people use it for furniture or industrial design. But in this video, I want to show you that it's also great for architecture. That's why I won't go into every single tool in detail, since we won't be using all of them today. But if you would like a full deep dive on the tools, let me know and I can make a separate video for that. Here's the cabin we are going to model today. One of the most important things to know is the project sidebar in the top left corner. This is where you can switch between modeling and visualization. When you are in the modeling tab, you have access to all the tools you need to create your design. You can sketch shapes, add features, and use a variety of 3D tools to transform and manipulate bodies. The visualization tab is where we can apply materials, colors, and different lighting conditions to our model. It gives us a simple but effective rendering of the project. Next, we have the Drawings tab, which generates 2D technical drawings from your design. This is great because you can create presentation boards like this one to clearly explain your project. Here on the left again, there is also the Items tab. This is a list of everything used to build the model: bodies, sketches, and reference planes. From here you can hide or show elements, reorganize your structure, and group parts into folders to keep your project organized. Below that you will find the Section View tool, which slices through your model so you can easily see inside and check details. Alright, let's start the 3D modeling now, and I will walk you through each tool as I use it. I have started by creating a new project, which I will name Cabin. I know, very creative. I'm working from a small sketch with all the dimensions I will need while modeling. The first thing I recommend doing is choosing your units. You can do that using the button in the top right corner. Right below it, you can also lock the grid size, which keeps the grid squares consistent no matter how far you zoom in or out. I have locked mine to 50 cm, so each square represents 50 cm. Above that is the magnet tool, which controls how your sketches snap to the grid. For this project, I'm turning all the snapping options on. If they ever get in your way, you can switch them off at any time. Let's start by drawing the base of the cabin. I will select Sketch, then Rectangle. After drawing the rectangle, I can adjust its dimensions directly. You will notice the inside of the shape is filled in blue. This means the sketch is fully closed. To turn it into a 3D object, just tap on the surface. That automatically activates the Extrude tool and brings up the arrows. Drawing the arrow lets you push or pull the profile in either direction to create the 3D shape. Now I'm going to roughly trace the outline of the walls and some of the interior layout. Tap on Tools and choose Offset Edges to offset the rectangle. This creates a parallel copy of the existing shape, which is perfect for defining the wall thickness. Next, I will continue sketching the interior. This cabin has one bedroom with a small bathroom and a compact kitchen and living area. I'm using the trim tool to remove any unnecessary lines and to make sure all the walls remain connected. This is important because it allows me to extrude all the walls at once later on. Now, when I tap on any of the wall surfaces, the extrude arrow appears, allowing me to pull the walls up into 3D. If I double tap on a face, Shapr3D automatically aligns the view and places a grid on that plane, making it easier to sketch directly on that side. I will use this to start tracing the windows. After sketching a window, I can double tap its edges to select the entire loop. A copy button appears, and tapping it lets me duplicate and place the other windows quickly. Whenever you select a body, on-screen arrows make it easy to move or rotate it precisely anywhere in your scene. You can also align your view to the X, Y, or Z axis, which makes sketching and positioning much easier and more accurate. In the top left corner, tap the Items panel, find the Windows bodies, and isolate them. This hides everything else so you can work on them without distraction. I will extrude the window profiles to give them thickness and turn them into 3D objects. With the visualization tools, I can quickly apply a material to the windows that already make them look much nicer. Then, using Extrude again, I will remove the inner glass areas to hollow out the frames. Now let's model the side windows. I want to isolate the right part, but I can't immediately find it in the list. Renaming items would definitely help here, even though I never have the patience to do it. Once I locate the window, I isolate it, model it, and then simply copy and paste it to the opposite side. That's it, the windows are done. Let's extend this part and then we can start drawing the roof. This side will be 220 cm high. Since it's a sloped roof, we will need to remove part of the wall shape as well. You will see it's very simple. I will sketch half a rectangle along the roof lines and extrude it directly through the cabin. As you can see, that automatically cuts the walls to the exact angle we need. Then I can extrude the actual roof and position it right on top of the cabin. Next, I will open the Items panel and hide the sketches we no longer need. Of course, you can adjust the dimensions of any body at any time. So now I will add two beams here. I will sketch a square, copy it to the other side and extrude both to create the beams. Now let me show you one of my favorite tools, Replace Face. This tool lets you match the face of one object to the face of another. I will select the face of the beam, then the corresponding face of the roof that I want it to align with. I will repeat the same process for the second beam. Perfect fit. Now let's create some stairs just there. I'm also going to add some details to the roof. Alright, now I'm going to add materials and colors. So I will tap on visualization. Let's make the roof a dark gray and add a wood material on the inside. There are a lot of options here. I have tried almost every wood texture. I'm always picky with good finishes, even in real life. I love them, but finding good looking ones isn't always easy. You can adjust the scale, roughness, and even rotate the texture on different axes. I'm testing a few more wood options, and I think this one looks good. I will also choose a different wood for the floor. And I will make the beams black for some contrast. We can even extend these side panels a bit. For the exterior walls, I'm thinking of modeling a simple cladding. I will sketch one piece of cladding on the side so we can position it directly onto the wall later. At this point, everything is dark on a dark background, so it's getting a little hard to see. Let's fix that. Open the settings and switch to the light theme. Much better. Now I will use the Union tool to combine all these bodies into a single one. Perfect. Now let's use the Pattern tool to duplicate the cladding pieces. Just tap here to choose how many copies you want. And great. We can now position the cladding on the wall, but first I will leave one copy aside. I will trim the edges and then use the Replace Face tool again to extend the cladding all the way up to the roof. And nice. I will hide the roof item for a moment so I can see the interior and extrude the cladding pieces inside the window openings. And perfect. Now I will copy this section and place it on the opposite side of the cabin. You can use the mirror tool to position it accurately. This is really handy for creating symmetrical elements. Next, let's take the cladding we duplicated earlier and place it on this facade as well. Same process, use Replace Face, then extrude the parts that sit inside the windows. I will fix the small gaps I accidentally created. Adjust the colors and materials for the windows and add materials to the interior walls. I also realized I forgot to add the interior doors, so let's put those in as well. And how does it look? So unfortunately, Shapr3D doesn't include a built-in library of ready-to-use 3D models, but you can download models from external websites and import them into your projects. That's exactly what I did with this plant. I imported an STL file and it worked perfectly. Let's place it inside and add some color. I did the same with this bed, and by the way, the fabric materials in Shapr3D look surprisingly good. Right now the windows don't have glass, so I simply extruded the openings and applied a glass material. I also imported this table and chairs and applied materials to those as well. Now we can close up the roof. We can also change the environment lighting by tapping on the Visualization tab. I imported a few old tree drawings I made and placed them around the cabin like this. And honestly, it turned out even better than I expected. Let me know what you think. On the left, you will find the generative render tool. All you have to do is describe the scene, something like a modern cabin in the woods, and generate a render. Not bad, right? And finally, you can go to the Drawings tab if you want technical 2D drawings. Here you can choose your sheet size, orientation, add multiple views, and continue from there. You can change the scale by tapping on Properties. Here you can also change the units, modify the title block, adjust line, thickness, and move, add or delete views. You can even include images, you can add dimensions, and also notes wherever you need them. This makes it easy to create 2D technical drawings directly from your 3D models. I even printed this and it looks great. Alright, I think we can leave it here. If you have any questions or if there is a tool you don't fully understand, feel free to let me know. In the meantime, you can check out this other video right here if you have some time. See you in the next one. Bye!